हाउसिंग के सब मैं बताना चाहूँगी छत्तीसगढ़ हाउसिंग बोर्ड जो फॉर्म हुआ है 2004 में, और इस बीच में जो है हमने लो कास्ट हाउसिंग और बेटर क्वालिटी हाउसिंग के लिए जो है हमारा मेन जो उद्देश्य रहा है। और मेनली जो है जो जो हाउसिंग बोर्ड जो है इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाती है होमलेस, नीडी पीपल और स्पेशली जो ईडब्ल्यूएस और एलआईजी कैटेगरी के लिए, जो कि बाकी प्राइवेट सेक्टर में प्राइवेट जो प्लेयर है वो नहीं कर पाते हैं उसमें। अभी जो जो लो कास्ट हाउसिंग जो छत्तीसगढ़ जो करती है सर, तो उसमें जो जो कॉन्सेप्ट है कि इफेक्टिव बजटिंग और टेक्निक विच हेल्प रिड्यूसिंग द कास्ट कंस्ट्रक्शन थ्रू लोकल अवेलेबल मटेरियल, इम्प्रूव स्किल एंड टेक्नोलॉजी। लो कास्ट हाउसिंग के लिए सर बोर्ड हमेशा जो है ईडब्ल्यूएस कैटेगरी जिनको 30 स्क्वायर मीटर का जो हाउस बना के देते हैं, इसके अलावा एलआईजी कैटेगरी के लिए लगभग 600 स्क्वायर मीटर के एरिया में हाउस कंस्ट्रक्ट करके देते हैं।
सॉरी सर, आपका प्रेजेंटेशन शेयर नहीं है।
ये शेयर किया हुआ है सर, एक मिनट।
सर मैं शेयर कर देता हूँ आपका प्रेजेंटेशन, आप
हाँ
मुझे
जी।
बता दीजिए नेक्स्ट करना कब है स्लाइड। जी सर, आप स्टार्ट कर लीजिए।
हाँ जी, नेक्स्ट पेज, नेक्स्ट। मैं यहाँ बताना चाह रहा था सर कि जो हाउसिंग बोर्ड में जो मोस्टली ईडब्ल्यूएस और एलआईजी जिनके लिए जो है रेसिडेंस उपलब्ध नहीं होते हैं, तो हमारा ये जो कि रोल ये है कि इन्हीं जो सेक्शन के लोगों को हम ध्यान में रख के जो है प्लान करते हैं। डिसाइड जो प्राइवेट बिल्डर्स होते हैं वो बड़े एमआईजी, एचआईजी, प्रीमियम कैटेगरी के करते हैं, जबकि वहाँ पर ईडब्ल्यूएस, एलआईजी के लिए हाउसिंग का कोई ज़्यादा स्कोप नहीं रहता है। नेक्स्ट, नेक्स्ट पेज। ये जो ये महत्वपूर्ण योजनाओं के बारे में मैं यहाँ पर डिटेल बताऊंगा। सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है मुख्यमंत्री आवास योजना, प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना। अभी नया रायपुर में हमने जो है इस योजना के तहत 4,544 जो यूनिट बनाए हैं और 2,900 में अभी जो है बेनिफिशियरी को अलॉट कर दिया है। इस योजना के लिए स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने हमें जो है रियायती दर पे जो है जमीन उपलब्ध कराया गया था 1 रुपये स्क्वायर फीट में। और इसके अलावा जो है इस योजना के तहत ईडब्ल्यूएस के लिए 1 लाख रुपया का सब्सिडी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की ओर से है, और उसी तरह से एलआईजी जो बेनिफिशियरी है उसके लिए स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने 50,000 का सब्सिडी दिया हुआ है। इसके अलावा जो है इस योजना में जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की ओर से भी ईडब्ल्यूएस के लिए 1.5 लाख और एलआईजी के लिए क्रेडिट लिंक सब्सिडी स्कीम 6.5% में दिया हुआ है। इसमें सर हमने जो है जो बेनिफिशियरी है उसको जो अपने जो हाउस को जो रजिस्टर करने के लिए जो स्टैम्प ड्यूटी उसमें भी गवर्नमेंट की ओर से छूट दिया हुआ है। और स्पेशली हम इसके लिए जो है प्री कॉस्ट जो टेक्नोलॉजी के तहत जो है निर्माण कर रहे हैं, जिससे जो हाउसिंग का जो कॉस्ट जो है काफी कम आता है। नेक्स्ट पेज। दूसरी योजना सर अटल विहार योजना। इसमें अलग अलग मॉडल के अलग अलग जो हाउस बनाए गए हैं। स्पेशली जो है लो इनकम ग्रुप के लिए एलआईजी है, जिसके जो आय की सीमा है 3 लाख से 6 लाख के बीच में। और उसी प्रकार से ईडब्ल्यूएस फैमिली जिनकी आय 3 लाख से कम है उसके लिए है। स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने इसमें जो है एलआईजी कैटेगरी के लिए 40,000 और जो ईडब्ल्यूएस के लिए 80,000 का जो वो दिया हुआ है। पीछे वाले पेज में जाएंगे प्लीज। बैक 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 बैक। ये अटल बिहार योजना। स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने सर इस योजना के तहत भी रियायती जो है जमीन उपलब्ध कराया गया है 1 रुपये पर स्क्वायर फीट में। और अभी तक हमने 7,389 हाउस बनाए हैं, जिसमें से 5,102 को हमने अलॉट भी कर लिया है। जो ईडब्ल्यूएस का कॉस्ट लगभग 3 लाख से 5 लाख के भीतर है। इसी प्रकार से एलआईजी हाउस का कॉस्ट जो है 5 लाख से 7 लाख के बीच में है। नेक्स्ट पेज। अटल आवास योजना एक महत्वपूर्ण योजना है, इसमें जो है केवल जो है ईडब्ल्यूएस जो वर्ग के लिए जो है हम मकान बनाते हैं जिनकी एनुअल इनकम 3 लाख से कम है, और इस तरह के बेनिफिशियरी को जो है गवर्नमेंट की ओर से 50,000 की सब्सिडी दी जाती है। अभी तक इस स्कीम के तहत 8,751 जो यूनिट्स बनाए जा चुके हैं, और उतने ही लगभग जो है हमने 8,178 जो है अलॉट कर चुके हैं। और इस योजना के तहत जो है जो यूनिट कास्ट था 1,10,000, क्योंकि ये पुरानी योजना है इसलिए इसमें कास्ट और कम आना है। दीनदयाल आवास योजना, इसमें जो है एलआईजी ग्रुप के लोगों के लिए जो है हाउस बनाया गया है, और जिनकी आय सीमा है 3 लाख से 6 लाख के बीच में, और इसमें गवर्नमेंट ने जो है लैंड जो है 25% कम 25% के रेट पे जो है हमको जो है लैंड प्रोवाइड किया है। अभी तक 16,202 यूनिट बनाए जा चुके हैं, जिसमें से 15,716 यूनिट को अभी तक अलॉट कर चुके हैं। दीनदयाल आवास योजना के तहत जो हाउस का जो कास्ट पड़ा हमको 2.5 लाख से लेके 5.5 लाख के बीच। नेक्स्ट। जनरल हाउसिंग स्कीम एक और महत्वपूर्ण स्कीम है जो हाउसिंग बोर्ड का, जो अन्य स्कीम में कवर नहीं होता वो इस स्कीम के तहत होता है। इसके लिए भी जो गवर्नमेंट जो है हमें रियायती दर पे जो है जमीन उपलब्ध कराती है। इसके अलावा जो है जो इसमें भी हम एलआईजी और ईडब्ल्यूएस का भी जो घर उनको बनाते हैं, और इसमें जो कास्ट आता है 3.5 लाख से 6.5 लाख के बीच में है, और स्पेशली जो है ईडब्ल्यूएस जो हाउस है ये जो है इसका भी इसी बीच में आता है। नेक्स्ट। ये जो विकर सेक्शन के लिए जो कम कास्ट का जो हाउस बनाते हैं उसमें कुछ चैलेंजेस है, जिसमें महत्वपूर्ण चैलेंज तो ये है कि लैंड की अवेलेबिलिटी। यहाँ पर जो अर्बन एरिया में जो है या शहर में हमें जो है लो कॉस्ट पे लैंड बहुत कम मिलता है, और उसके अलावा जो है हाई टैक्स रेट के कारण भी हमको जो है लो कास्ट बनाने में कुछ प्रॉब्लम होता है। इसके अलावा जो है मेन सिटी में जो हमें जो है जमीन जो है सस्ती जमीन नहीं मिलती है, हमको जो है सिटी के बाहर जाना पड़ता है, तो इसमें जो कनेक्टिविटी का भी कास्ट जो है थोड़ा ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है। इससे थोड़ा सा एक ये चैलेंज है कि लो कास्ट कैसे रखा जाए। इसके अलावा जो ये जो हाउस को जो लो कास्ट बनाना होता है, बट इसको हम जो है क्वालिटी भी मेंटेन करना है, और जबकि जो है मटेरियल कास्ट जो है काफ़ी तेजी से बढ़ रहा है, ये भी एक अपने लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण चैलेंज है। नेक्स्ट। और इस चैलेंज को दूर करने के लिए कुछ मेजर्स हमने किए हैं। सबसे पहले तो गवर्नमेंट हमको जो है सब्सिडाइज रेट पे लैंड अलॉट करती है। इसके अलावा जो है स्पेशली जो है जो शहर के बाहर ही जो आउटस्कर्ट में है उसमें भी जो है हमको जो है लैंड उपलब्ध कराती है। इसके अलावा जो है विकर सेक्शन को जो है ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा हाउसिंग मिल सके, तो हम जो है अपने जितने भी प्रोजेक्ट है उसमें 15% ईडब्ल्यूएस के लिए अलग से जो है रिजर्व कर रखते हैं, और उन्हें हम जो है अलॉटमेंट बेसिस पे, लॉटरी के बेसिस पे जो मिनिमम रेट होता है उसी में ही अलॉट करते हैं। इसके अलावा जो है जो उसके कास्ट को कम करने के लिए कुछ जो है लोकल अवेलेबल मटेरियल है और प्री कास्ट टेक्नोलॉजी के तहत जो है हम इसका कास्ट को कम करने की कोशिश करते हैं। नेक्स्ट। हाउसिंग बोर्ड स्कीम मुख्यमंत्री प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना, अटल बिहार योजना, राजीव नगर आवास योजना, अटल आवास योजना, दीनदयाल आवास योजना, ये सभी योजनाओं में जो कमजोर वर्ग के लोगों के लिए जो है ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जो हाउसिंग का व्यवस्था हो सके, ये हम कोशिश करते हैं। इसके अलावा जो है बोर्ड में हाउसिंग बोर्ड वर्क इन फील्ड ऑफ लो कास्ट हाउसिंग इज अप्रोप्रिएट बाई एसोचेम अवार्ड इन 2016। सर बोर्ड में जो है एक हमने प्रीकास्ट टेक्नोलॉजी का भी इस्तेमाल किया है, जो स्मार्ट सिटी के लिए जो है स्मार्ट सिटी प्रोजेक्ट के उसके नॉर्म्स के भीतर है, और इसको भी जो है काफ़ी अप्रिशिएट किया गया था। ये लो कास्ट भी है और काफ़ी मजबूत भी है, भूकंप रोधी भी है। इसमें जो है निर्माण जो है जल्दी भी हो जाता है और काफ़ी इसको पसंद किया जा रहा है। इसके अलावा सर हाउसिंग बोर्ड एक सॉफ्टवेयर हमने बनाया था ई आवास का, और इसमें भी हमें जो है स्कॉच की ओर से एक हमें जो है पुरस्कार मिला था 2019 में। सीजी हाउसिंग बोर्ड प्रोजेक्ट में ई आवास हाउसिंग बोर्ड कंपैरिजन और अवार्ड ऑफ एक्सीलेंस अंडर द कैटेगरी ऑफ ई गवर्नेंस इनिशिएटिव फॉर गवर्नमेंट सर्विस डिलीवरी फॉर द इलेक्ट अवार्ड इन सेकंड इलेक्ट इंडिया ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन समिट, ये जो है पुरस्कार जो है हाउसिंग बोर्ड छत्तीसगढ़ को मिला है। नेक्स्ट, जो अपकमिंग स्कीम है सर की सबसे महत्वपूर्ण स्कीम है राजीव नगर आवास योजना। इसके तहत हमको जो है
सॉरी सर फॉर इंटरप्शन, सर क्या 2 मिनट्स के अंदर कंक्लूड कर पाएंगे प्रेजेंटेशन?
हाँ, यस यस यस, ये महत्वपूर्ण योजना है सर, ये हाउसिंग बोर्ड का, जिसमें हम हाई क्वालिटी वेल इक्विप्ड हाउसिंग रीजनेबल प्राइस में बनाने की कोशिश करेंगे। और इसमें हमने लक्ष्य रखा है 1 लाख रेसिडेंशियल हाउस का, और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की ओर से हमने प्रपोज किया है LIG फैमिली के लिए 40,000 सब्सिडी का, और EWS के लिए 80,000 सब्सिडी का। और इस स्कीम में 13,500 LIG बेनिफिशियरी और 18,000 EWS बेनिफिशियरी को लगभग 198 करोड़ का सब्सिडी भी गवर्नमेंट की ओर से दिया जाएगा। और इसमें एनुअल इनकम क्राइटेरिया LIG के लिए 3 लाख से 6 लाख के बीच में है, और EWS के लिए 3 लाख के बीच में है। और इसमें हमें जो है स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की ओर से काफ़ी सपोर्ट मिल रहा है। तो उम्मीद है कि हम जो है इस योजना में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जो है गरीब लोगों के लिए, ज़रूरतमंद लोगों के लिए लो कास्ट हाउसिंग प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं। नेक्स्ट, नेक्स्ट प्लीज। इसके अलावा जो है जो बेनिफिशियरी है उसको जो है और सुविधा देने के लिए हमने एक टोल फ्री नंबर, SMS सर्विस, और जो हाउस सर्च के लिए समृद्धि ऑनलाइन का जो वेबसाइट, और इसके अलावा जो बोर्ड का जो सॉफ्टवेयर ई आवास, ये सारा चीज हमने बना के रखा है जिससे लोगों को ज्यादा से ज्यादा बेहतर सेवाएं मिल सके। नेक्स्ट, इसके अलावा हम प्लान कर रहे हैं सर एक सिटीजन पोर्टल का, जिसमें जो रजिस्ट्रेशन से लेके जो है हाउसिंग बोर्ड में जितनी भी सेवाएं हैं वो जो है ऑनलाइन उसको उपलब्ध हो सके, और ऑनलाइन पेमेंट और सारी इंफॉर्मेशन उपलब्ध हो सके, ताकि जो उनको सेवाओं की गुणवत्ता है वो जो है अच्छी मिल सके। थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू Pati. It's a program which essentially attends to the very basic requirement of marginalized persons who require a shelter or a roof on the head. You have 4 or 5 schemes that you are told, that Bihari Awas Yojana, Prime Minister Awas Yojana, Chief Minister Awas Yojana, Deen Dayal Upadhyay Awas Yojana. There are 4 schemes. I mean, as I follow your presentation. So, are there variation in the criteria of giving loan or subsidy or land cost or any other that you provide as a assistance to a houseless population? Number 2 question, have you estimated as to how much the houseless population are there in the state, both in rural and urban? Have you developed a roadmap as to when you can phase it out in optimizing your services and provision of the houses? Number 3 is that, you see, all these house, there are people who have houses which are pakkaus and kachchaus. Have you made an estimation as to how many kacha houses that would require your program assistance? Then, so now you have said, like, you provide 3 lakhs, 6 lakhs, etc. And the one important problem that you identify is that related to the urban housing. And you pointed out Raipur area. So these are these programs are virtually urban oriented? No focus given to the rural? If so, sir, could you give us some idea as to how we are approaching the rural housing?
ये स्कीम सर सभी के लिए, अर्बन और रूरल दोनों के लिए सर।
तो अर्बन में कितना हुआ, रूरल में कितना हुआ, और कितना टारगेट था, और क्या उपलब्धि उसका?
अलग अलग स्कीम में अलग अलग टारगेट्स है सर। जैसे अभी राजीव आवास योजना में हमने 1 लाख का टारगेट रखा।
मैं पहले सवाल ये किया था कि अलग अलग स्कीम है, अलग अलग निर्धारित उनका मापदंड है ना
जी।
तो आपको अगर ये सारे स्कीम को एक जगह लाए, इसलिए हाउसिंग बोर्ड बनी है, ये सारे चीजों का आपके तत्वाधान में रहे, तो आपने इसको इंटीग्रेट करके क्यों नहीं कर रहे कि भाई इसमें ये कमी हो तो इस एक्स प्रोग्राम से आएगा, वाई प्रोग्राम से आएगा, वाइस वर्सा। तो उसको कुछ अप्रोच बनाइए, कोशिश किया आपने अप्रोच? क्योंकि ये 4 स्कीम को जो आपने मेंशन किए हैं, ये 4 स्कीम का एक लक्ष्य एक है, तो टारगेट एक क्यों नहीं हो, सबको इंटीग्रेट क्यों ना हो?
सर मैं एक पॉइंट वाइज आता हूँ सर। सबसे पहले सब्सिडी का आपने क्लेरिफिकेशन चाहे सर। तो सब्सिडी जो है स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का जो फॉर्म है, जैसे उनकी पॉलिसी बदलती जाती है तो सब्सिडी भी बदलता है। तो सबसे पहले तो मुख्यमंत्री आवास योजना में सब्सिडी अलग था सर, और अभी जो इसके बाद जो स्कीम लॉन्च हुआ है उसमें सर कि EWS के लिए 40,000 था और LIG के लिए 80,000 था। दूसरा विषय था सर कि रोड मैप का जितने भी रिक्वायरमेंट है, तो हमने जो है अभी और आपका एक और क्वेरी था सर कि सभी को एक में कर दे। तो एक तरह से अभी जो हमारा जो स्कीम है सर, जो बाकी स्कीम है पहले का स्कीम है, अभी एक ही स्कीम हमारी चल रही है, वो है सर राजीव नगर आवास योजना, और दूसरा स्कीम है सर सामान्य आवास योजना। 2 ही चल रही है। इसमें सारा जो हमारा जो रोड मैप और सारा चीज इसमें इनकॉर्पोरेट है, और सब्सिडी का भी पॉलिसी जो है अभी करंट गवर्नमेंट का जो पॉलिसी उसके अनुसार वो मैप किया हुआ है सर। इसके अलावा सर हम जितने भी जो घर बनाते हैं सारे सर पक्का हाउस है, और जो LIG और EWS में जहाँ पर अर्बन एरिया है, जहाँ पर ज्यादा पॉपुलेशन है, हम लोग फ्लैट्स बनाते हैं, और रूरल एरिया में सर इंडिविजुअल हाउस बनाते हैं।
अच्छा, मैं एक प्रश्न ये उठता है, मान लीजिए मैं 3 लाख से कम इनकम का ग्रुप का हूँ, अगर मुझे आप कौन सा स्कीम बेस्ट सजेस्ट करेंगे? इतना 5-6 दिखाई।
EWS सर।
हैं?
EWS
EWS
इसमें राजीव नगर आवास योजना में ही जो लैंड एरिया है उसमें 50% जो है EWS के लिए हम आरक्षित रखते हैं सर। उसमें जितने भी जो है जो फ्लैट्स बनेंगे या फिर हाउसेस बनेंगे उसमें उनको ऑफर करेंगे। और
बाकी स्कीम में मैं कुछ फायदा नहीं उठाता।
बाकी में भी वो अवेलेबल है, लेकिन EWS में अगर वो चाहता है तो उसको हम सब्सिडी दे पाएंगे। अदरवाइज जो है दूसरे हाउसिंग में भी जा सकते हैं, लेकिन उनको सब्सिडी नहीं मिलेगी।
हाँ, थोड़ा मुश्किल हो रहा है कि समझने में। एनीवे, गुड एफर्ट बिकॉज दिस इज a very important area that you are doing, and I wish you the best and more clarity.
Thank you.
बेसिकली जो आप कर रहे हैं वो सारे हाउसिंग बोर्ड के पास ऐसे ही टारगेट है और ऐसे ही कर रहे हैं, और कहीं पे स्कीम में 40,000 दिया जा रहा है, कहीं पे 50 दिया जा रहा है। दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन द लोकल स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, क्योंकि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का जो फंडिंग है वो तो है ही है। व्हाट आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड इज टॉक अबाउट 2 इनोवेशंस जो मुझे लगा। वन इज दैट यू आर रेंटिंग आउट द हाउसेस टू द माइग्रेंट people and the lower income group. That is something I have not heard anybody doing. So probably that's a good initiative to provide, temporary accommodation to the people who probably need it for maybe a year, 2 years, something like that. So that is a different activity and not managed by your regular way. Maybe you are having a different way to do that. The other thing you said about you are using low cost material, local material and prefabrication for reducing the time as well as reducing the cost. So can you give some kind of a comparison that previously when you were not doing it, like not using locally available material, but I don't know, or you should anyway use locally available material because brick, cement, everything is available, whatever is available. Are you using any innovative technology for the building material like fly ash or something like that? That is number one. Second thing is using prefabricated material. What is the reduction in the time taken for construction of a house? These are the 2 questions I have.
मैम जो लोकल अवेलेबल मटेरियल है तो फ्लाई एश तो हम इस्तेमाल करते ही हैं, उससे कास्ट काफी कम होते हैं। इसके अलावा जो है प्री कॉस्ट जो मटेरियल इस्तेमाल करते हैं तो उसमें भी जो है काफी जो है कास्ट जो है तो कम हो जाता है।
कितना परसेंटेज कम होता है?
एक लगभग 10% जो है कॉस्ट कम हो जाता है।
परसेंट कम होता है बिकॉज ऑफ दिस टू लोकली अवेलेबल एज वेल एज
न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी।
टाइम कितना रिडक्शन होता है? बिकॉज यू आर एनीवे गेटिंग इट डन समवेयर एल्स एंड
क्योंकि वो जो प्री कास्ट रहता है मैम, तो काफी जल्दी हो जाता है, क्योंकि जो है अलग से वो प्लांट में उसको कास्ट किया जाता है और उसको लाके फिट करते हैं, तो जल्दी बन जाता है, उसमें ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगता है।
वो तो ठीक है, पर उसको लाने में बनाने में सब कुछ टाइम लगता है ना, तो रिडक्शन कितना होता है?
वो जो प्लांट जो बनाते हैं, जो कॉस्टिंग का, वो भी नियर बाई रखते हैं जो प्रोजेक्ट का, तो वो जल्दी हो जाता है।
मतलब नॉर्मली आपका एक सेटअप, सपोज एक ही बार में आपको 20,000 हाउसेस सैंक्शन हुए हैं या 200 हाउस सैंक्शन हुए, व्हाट एवर नंबर, तो उसको बनाने में पहले आपको कितना टाइम लगता था? ये सब यूज करने के बाद कितना टाइम लगता है?
लगभग जो बाकी जो, क्योंकि मल्टी स्टोरीज अगर बिल्डिंग बनाते हैं, तो अगर 8 फ्लोर का हमने प्लान किया तो 2 साल उसका पीरियड रहता है। इसमें हमको ये, अगर सब चीज फ्लो ठीक रहा तो 1.5 साल में हम कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं।
25% रिडक्शन होता है।
यस।
चलिए, अच्छा है, वेरी गुड,
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू।
अदर डिपार्टमेंट के साथ आपको कोऑर्डिनेशन की जरूरत पड़ती है इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ मेकिंग दिस हाउसेस?
वैसे जरूरत पड़ती है, अदर डिपार्टमेंट की जरूरत इस तरह से पड़ती है, जैसे कि लैंड हमको चाहिए तो रेवेन्यू डिपार्टमेंट से मदद लेते हैं। इसी तरह से और कुछ जो न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी हमको ये करना है, तो उसके लिए हमको जो है, जो यहाँ के टेक्निकल जो कॉलेज है,
आपको वाटर सप्लाई, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इन डिपार्टमेंट का तो वेरी एसेंशियल है ना, वो उनके साथ तो कैसे इंश्योर करते हैं?
जैसे कि जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी डिपार्टमेंट है, उससे तो काफी अच्छा कोऑर्डिनेशन होता है सर, कि पहले से हम
नहीं, जितना भी हाउस आपने बनाए सब में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कनेक्शन और सप्लाई इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है,
विदिन पीरियड जो है वो हम कर लेते हैं। जैसे हम प्लान करते हैं उसके पहले ही जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी डिपार्टमेंट से बात करके प्लान कर लेते हैं। और
देयर आर एरियाज आई नो अराउंड रायपुर, वाटर इज अ क्राइसिस, वाटर सप्लाई।
नहीं, वाटर सप्लाई का सर, वाटर सप्लाई तो हमारा हाउसिंग बोर्ड का खुद का रहता है और किसी डिपार्टमेंट की मदद लेने की
उसी का प्रॉब्लम है, उसका थोड़ा समस्याएं हैं। मैंने रायपुर गया था तो देखा था मैंने, तो
समस्याएं वैसे नहीं है सर, क्योंकि हम लोकल जो स्पार्ट सोर्स का ही इस्तेमाल करते हैं जो उसके लिए, और अगर कहीं पर जो अर्बन बॉडी है तो नगर निगम से जो है उसका कनेक्शन लेते हैं ड्रिंकिंग वाटर के लिए।
ओके, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू सर।
Start. What? Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I am Anup Shrivastava. I am Member Secretary, Chhattisgarh Planning Commission. I am audible.
No, this is on Chhattisgarh Planning Commission.
Yes.
भाई साहब, आप पहले बता दिए हैं?
No, पहले से already we have communicated.
No, sir, actually it's serial number 12.
आपने बताया नहीं ना?
हाँ, नहीं बताया था नहीं सर।
छत्तीसगढ़ स्टेट प्लानिंग, ओके,
right? Chhattisgarh State Planning Commission. I want to make my presentation relating to SDG, the area where we have worked recently as per the mandate of UN. Our state has been created in 2000, as is known, in November 2000, and our state is a newly state out of the 4, along with Jharkhand, the Uttarakhand, and Telangana. So our state is a newly carved out state, and we are lacking so many infrastructure, so many things. But as is very clear that after the SDG, which has been resolution has been passed by United Nations, since then a lot of efforts are being taken so as to operationalize it and make the implementation effective through different mechanisms by developing different kinds of administrative initiatives. In our states also, we have taken this initiative since beginning when it was first came in 2015 and mandate was issued by Niti Aayog in our state, and we have invited them, we have discussed with them, and since then we have taken different initiatives relating to that, how to implement it, how the framework should be in place. And for that, some very exceptional work has been done in creating the robust and very good framework, very responsive framework with comprehensive involvement of different stakeholders, including at all administrative levels, other level, corporate world, other people also. So first I would like to point out that what are the mandate of Chhattisgarh State Planning Commission. Just like Niti Aayog, in our Chhattisgarh, State Planning Commission functions as a think tank for the government of Chhattisgarh. It is the nodal agency for SDG coordination. And government has, through a notification, has assigned the work of coordination and also implementation of SDG through different departments, to prepare the roadmap for monitoring and evaluation and innovation practices. Also, the responsibility has been given to assess the socio-economic development of the indicators in the Chhattisgarh. The recommendation policy suggested to political leadership, that is also one of the major activities being taken up by a State Planning Commission, and also to publish different documents, organize different workshops, so as to give different policy advice to the state government. Next, please, sir. Yes. So the initiatives which we have taken under all these mandate which was given to a State Planning Commission includes, like first foremost requirement was that in this state, the data-driven and evidence-based decision making was one of the major challenge, because data was an issue all through here, because this is a new state, we were lacking it, and also the consciousness about department and other working group, that was their data was the major issue for the decision making. So this was to be tackled and handled properly here, and bring time-bound intervention for that, relating to policy formulation and also optimal and judicious use of state resources for that based on those data. Policy decision making backed by strong data availability, also ensuring proper frequency at certain time interval with due validation of this and authentication of that. These were the issues. And for them, certain strong initiatives was required to be taken at that time. Rationalization of the scheme based on the impact assessment and also based on the data which were available, that was also an issue at that time. Sensitization efforts among different departments for especially taking different initiative based on the data, that was issue at that time. At the same time, the SDG given a guideline and mandate to take the evidence-based initiative in the state and across the globe. Taking the guidelines from Niti Aayog, we have undergone a lot of efforts, a lot of workshops, so many workshops were conducted, and ultimately to support the budget practices and resource allocation based on data, the intervention was taken, and that was one of the requirements at that time. Targeted interventions in the light of data efficiency, timely inferences and recommendations were made at that time. Sector-specific challenges were there, issues were there, they are concerning this state. A strong framework to achieve 2030 SDG target was also a challenge at that time. Taking all these things into consideration, we have prepared vision documents and took on board all the concerned departments have a brainstorming session, and the vision document has been published in 2015-16 at that time with the initial data, so as to give a boost to all the activities depending on that. Here I would like to mention in brief, though we have a chain of different workshops since then with the departments, I am not mentioning that. The real output at that time and challenge was also at that time, the relating to creation of a strong, dynamic, very robust state indicator framework. Very few states were there at that time having this state indicator framework. For that, we tried to bring on board all the stakeholders, including corporate sectors, including different administrative departments, then also media persons. Then we have sensitized our MLAs, MPs. So this is one of the SDG framework is having a special thing with this, that this has been an outcome after a lot of interaction and with the providing comprehensive discussions with different types of stakeholders which were committed to be there and was mandated to be there as per the Niti Aayog guideline and United Nations guideline. Then second outcome at that time was Chhattisgarh SDG indicator framework, district level indicator framework. This is also having, because at that time it was a challenge in the district to sensitize everybody at the lower level of our administrative unit. Very few departments were aware of it at that time. So we took a lot of workshop for monitoring and providing the monitoring framework properly and collective things. We envisioned this in a state planning commission, all these bottlenecks and there's the things which were requiring to be given a particular direction at that time. And with the assistance of district collectors and also local self-government officers, we took different initiatives and ultimately we are happy that we could be able to put at place the state district indicator framework. This is our achievement. Next slide, please. The uniqueness of this state initiatives, these initiatives is that we have a very strong institution at place after all these activities, all these initiatives. In other states, you might be just having these institutional framework are there. They appear to be very common thing. But one thing which I want to highlight that in this, we have already having all the different levels of administrative people, political people in this. So first, I would like to highlight that we are having a state level steering committee which is chaired by Honorable Chief Minister. Very few states are there where Chief Minister is the head of the state level steering committee. Then we are having the implementation and monitoring committee chaired by our Chief Secretary. Then we are having district level implementation and monitoring committee headed by district collector. So here you can have a feel that all the political sphere, from people from political sphere, people from different administrative sphere and other persons who are also member in this. So all along the different level of rungs of administration and also different political masters, they have been convinced thoroughly with the SDG mandate. And of course, that was a great challenge at that time. When you will notice in very few states are there where everybody is participating with the same spirit, with the same mandate, which is there for the United Nations. So this is a very important thing. Then also we are having a proper process in place. Participatory approach has been given emphasis and our consultations with different levels of people, media persons, people at the down below on the administrative rungs and also political people. They have been discussed thoroughly. We have the nodal officers of different departments, a lot of series of different activities, different relating to brainstorming session workshop were conducted. Then inputs were taken from ministries, departments, and data source and scheme mapping also has been done. You will be very happy to note that in the SDG wise mapping of the different schemes has been there and it has been published in the format of book for the benefit of the people at large and also those who are going to use it in coming futures. Mapping of the schemes, both central scheme and state schemes, already they are there. And also the mapping of the nodal officers and departments who will be responsible for maintaining and providing the data in a proper framework with its maintaining its quality, that is also mapped there in all the framework that is designed there. Then SDG, for SDG localization, SDG district level, district indicator framework is also in place, and that has also been incorporated after consultation with nodal officers and people, because they are not able to understand the things. So at that time it was a challenge to make a balance that any critical thing should not be left out, and also by the side by side the data, quality data is available. So making a compromise of that was a very great exercise at that time. We interacted with them and ultimately we could put this there in place. Different publications has already been there in book form, handy book form, which can be of use to the people at large. SDG baseline report has already been published for 2015-16 data through different quality sources. And also the progress report for 2020-21, that has also been there, so that it can be a reference for to the stakeholders, and also that can be utilized for bringing the things to the change. Then SDG DIF framework document is released by Honorable Chief Minister recently, and it is also available in public domain. Next slide.
Sorry for interruption, sir. Can you
Yeah.
please conclude your presentation in 2 minutes?
Okay, all right, no problem. So the challenges which we faced at that time, the awareness of the people was very less. Interdepartmental coordination was an issue. Resource allocation was also an issue. Then availability, frequency, adequacy of data and critical indicators during the interaction was a challenge. Then achieving consensus by defining and setting that was, and major challenge was COVID was at that time. So in a hybrid mode, we have to conduct all that and bring to the output in such a way which is being accepted and appreciated by everybody with a proper quality at that time. Then we have also submitted a report based on all these data which we had at that time, because Niti Aayog published multi-poverty index in which our 10 districts were lagging behind and poverty level was very high. For that, we have created a suggestion from Planning Commission based on that and submitted a report for way forward and to tackle that and reduce the poverty that has already been submitted to the government through Chief Secretary. Next, please. The solutions which we could be possible on that consultation was there. Then also I mentioned that very robust, very resilient, acceptable to everybody state indicator framework was at that time, which was based on participatory approach. And this could be possible, and which is based on quality data and mapping the sources also there. Collaboration with professional experts were there. Based on that, one thing I want to mention that including different sectors like education, health, higher education, we have created 14 task forces, including different experts across the nation, experts from national level, experts, state level experts, and we could be able to publish a report for bringing change for the department. It has already been published. So around 140 working groups were there, and 17 to 80 already report has been submitted, and Honorable CM was pleased to release this few days back, and it is in the public domain to roll out different activities which are there proposed in that. Brainstorming sessions were also taken up. Next, please.
Please conclude.
Last. But only 2 slides are there. So these are there, last slides. The outcomes are a state indicator framework is the main thing. Baseline report is available. Based on that, 2020-21 data, already progress data is there, and we are facilitating that continuous monitoring is possible. We will provide them data and support and activating all this machinery to there so that they can take a decision and fine tune their schemes and things accordingly, and proper economic resource allocation for achieving the targets that can be possible. Next, please. We are having a very good dynamic dashboard, which is already in process. Almost it is finished. We are thinking that we will get it released. Here, with a click of button, the departments and those stakeholders can be able to view whatever ranking of the state and different districts relating to different indicators and goals are there, which has been published by the Niti Aayog in their side. Similarly, we are also having all the districts at a dashboard where districts can see their progress and performance along different SDG at indicator level, and accordingly they can make amendment and think for the proper economic allocation of the resources. Similarly, the ranking of the within district, different indicator wise, the district collector can see that what is his position, which are the districts which are ahead of them and where they are lacking, where more emphasis is required. These kinds of things will be available. That is a very strong tool which facilitates two-way mobility of the data and exchange of ideas, exchange of things, so that the commitment that is there for retrieving the SDG goal that can be possible. And this has been appreciated by Administrative Stock College at Hyderabad also, when my people went there and presented that. This is a very unique tool. And if you will go deep into the, you can just appreciate that our presentation, our SIF frameworks, our tools, they are having so many special features which other states are not having. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, your planning commission,
Yeah.
I'm familiar with from the days of D.N. Tiwari when he was deputy chairman.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the first deputy chairman.
Yeah.
You know, frankly, there is nothing you have mentioned that is exception that a planning commission, either state or center, is not supposed to. You do it all that is mandated and expected of a planning commission at the state or central level. Because I'm from the planning commission center, so I know it all. The question comes that it's a good presentation you made about the activities, various achievements, various functioning of the commission. It is virtually appears like an annual report of the planning commission. Anything, many states do this, you know, this is nothing else, but what is that the exceptionally you did that brought about change in the state administration, in development and everything. All SDG goals are there, all laid down. There is nothing we have to do about it. But only thing is that what you have done as a contribution from your side, that stands out, that, you know, no one has done as an exception. Could you kindly educate me on that?
Sir, the point is that already the data, when you will go through the data which has been published by Niti Aayog and an indicator which has been published, we have to make a special effort, especially to see that what are the goals and indicators, especially indicators against the target, which are suitable to our state. Because our state is having a peculiarity from that point of view, sorting out different indicators, and also.
No, excuse me, that every state, as per its requirement, situation, and profile, it will have to. Niti Aayog provides a broad perspective at the national level. That has to be disaggregated at the state level. Each state will develop a package like you do for yours, Andhra will do it, Arunachal will do it. So it depends on this. So what is that you have done that Niti Aayog have not said, UN has not said that as a commission?
Oh, sir, my request is saying everybody has said, but if we are doing the things in the same spirit which is there, you will see other states, the framework that is there or vision document that is there. In the way meticulously different things are mapped in our things, schemes which are mapped.
No, so you are not getting my point. Whatever you've done that you present now, is it not expected to do from the state? It is expected, isn't it? It is expected. You are supposed to do this also.
Okay.
Now, what is that you are not supposed to do, but you have done out of the way?
This is what I said, that we had created 14 task forces, because out of that, the sectors where we were lacking, we have created 14 task forces, notified that.
Again, these are all administrative, dealings, like planning commission, working groups, steering committees and all that. These are These are not something really reflects of achievement. That you require a different task force so that you.
No. The point which I mentioned is simply we have not created. We have invited different experts. We have gone for the brainstorming session in different working groups. We have.
Believe me, no planning commission will function and deliver the things unless they, effectively involve the experts in the respective areas and the departments of concern. So, planning commission is mainly a think tank which coordinates also. So that's what it is. Anyway, thank you. It's very good.
Thank you, sir.
I have no specific questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Because anyway, you have presented what it looks more like the pages of, like Mr. Panda said, like the pages of annual report of Niti Planning Commission. I won't say about Niti Aayog, but Planning Commission used to have such colorful charts. The only difference is you are making it a dynamic chart on the portal. I can say that much. Without going into the details, it's a good work. I'm not saying it's not good, but it's like, your presentation is very good, but the results are not commensurate with the presentation. You still have 10 districts which needs to be focused on. You still have poor people and your school education and all those numbers are not going up. Your ranking is not going up by doing it. Basically, that's the idea. But otherwise, what you have done is good. Your presentation is really nice. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
We launched our startup policy in the month of April in the year 2022. We had around 1,800 startups in Madhya Pradesh who were DPIIT recognized startups. After the intervention of our startup policy, after the assistance which will be given under the policy, now our startups are more than 2,200 in Madhya Pradesh. Out of which 40% startups are women-led startups. More than 800 startups are being led by the women only. In Madhya Pradesh, nodal agencies, Department of MSME only. We have more than 40 incubation centers in Madhya Pradesh who are working under Atal Incubation Center, Department of Science and Technology also, then Science and Technology Park and other. So we have 6 incubation centers under smart city of various cities. Next, please. We have taken various initiatives to strengthen a strong ecosystem for the startups who are working in the Madhya Pradesh. So we have made some proactive interventions regarding funds, entrepreneurship development courses, mentoring, etc. We have a dedicated separate cell of MP Startup Center. Where we have hired professionals from business sector only, who will be deciding financial assistance given to the startups and their funding also. We have made special provisions under store and purchase rule of Government of Madhya Pradesh, so that this startups can get relaxation. Previous slide only. So that these startups can get market from the government sector also. Then we have empaneled alternative investment funds in Madhya Pradesh also. We have policy support from other banks also, but we have empaneled AIFs also in Madhya Pradesh to fund these startups. We are organizing various workshops, seminars through MSME department also and through other incubators also to support these startups. Then we are developing an innovation lab with the help of IIT Delhi in Indore district. Next, please. Now I'd like to tell you something about policy features of startup policy, which we recently launched by Honorable Prime Ministers. We give maximum 15 lakhs of rupees on the investment, which will be sought by the startups, and it will be a 15% on their investment. If the startup is led by the women, then that startup will get additional 20% of assistance. Then we have 5 lakhs rupees of assistance for patents, and lease rental reimbursement is also there of 5,000 rupees for 3 years. Next, please. We have special provisions for product-based startups. we provide them skill development and training related reimbursement for 25 employees for 13,000 rupees for this year. Then we have other various assistance also, like electricity duty exemption, then fixed electricity rate for the startups who are working under product-based startup. Next, please. We also provide support to incubation centers also. If they organize any events, so we give them 5 lakhs rupees per event and maximum 20 lakhs rupees per annum. Then we also have incubation upgradation assistance. If they increase their capacity by 20%, which can at least accommodate 2 new startups. So we provide them 5 lakhs rupees for their upgradation also. Next, please. We have a very different system, kind of a provision in our policy called State Innovation Challenge, where we have invited socio-economic problem of departments of government of Madhya Pradesh. Department will give us problem of that particular department, which they are not able to solve as of now. We'll float that challenge to all the startups who are registered under DPIIT and our portal only. Then if they solve that problem of those department, then they will get additional grant of rupees 1 crore. Then they'll have special procurement assistance for 2 years. They can use facilities of our good governance school. We have a tool room here. They can use facility of there, and they will be giving them some deemed kind of a consent and approval and licenses for those startups who will float an idea or give us a prototype to solve the problem of State Innovation Challenge. We have few achievements after the launching of this scheme. We have got generated employment of more than 20,000 in Madhya Pradesh. We have been recognized as an aspiring leader under the startup ranking of this year only. Then we have a dedicated cell to support, to mentor for the startups called Madhya Pradesh Startup Cell. We have hired professionals from business sector only. We have an online portal where we are registering incubators, investors, and startups so that they can be brought on a same platform so that they can have a good collaboration. We also have conducted various conclave buyer-seller meets after the registration of investors and startups. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Sir, if you have any questions. You're on mute, sir.
The three presentations you made, they are very much interlinked. Ultimate objective that is for the economic development and provide entrepreneurship through entrepreneurship and employment generation. So, that being so, why shouldn't you have one comprehensive program for entrepreneurship and employment generation through MSME, and wherein all these things comes together, including cluster, MSME, and the present one as well. So wouldn't that be a good idea? And besides, all these things are just starters, doing all of them. So it will take some time to get the results as you expected now. Isn't it to be too early to, to judge a program as to how it will be, performing?
Sir, I would like to tell you here, sir, as I told you in startup only, then after our intervention, more than 400 startups got registered and 2 startups got under the unicorn also. And then you are saying that all these are interlinked, but I would like to emphasize here that startups are being funded by the AIFs or other venture capital funds. They don't fund MSMEs or any self-employment scheme, because startups have their unique ideas, they have their unique prototypes, so they get easily funded. So we have a different scheme for the different sectors, so that related financial institutions can approach them and we can support them accordingly.
No, but by and large, the ultimate objective being the same, shouldn't it come under an umbrella scheme?
We can think about it, sir. But startup will be a future MSME. It can be a micro unit or a medium unit, but it will take times. But
all this
for that gestation period, we'll have to support them with a different policy.
Even otherwise, those ones which have been established under MSME were startups at one point of time. So it's here. So what I'm trying to tell you that to minimize the administrative expenditure and manpower deployment and all, I think it is always felt that is in a developing planning. Try to reduce the number of programs and ideas, many ideas, and bring in a comprehensive program which has components which ultimately addresses the objective of employment generation and entrepreneurship. Anyway, that's a suggestion. It's up to you. Bye.
Yes, sir. I take this feedback positively.
I have no specific questions. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Have a good day. In my previous presentation, sir, our aim of our Honorable Chief Minister is to increase employment in Madhya Pradesh. So we are focusing on increasing development of MSME clusters in Madhya Pradesh, sir. So what we do in Madhya Pradesh, MSME department identify the geographical area where clusters can be made. We see feasibility and gaps in that sector. We also try to select appropriate sector for that specific area with the consultation of all the stakeholders in that particular area. Then we invite all the MSMEs who are keen to invest and who are keen to come to that particular area for that specific cluster. And we also help them in hard and soft intervention. Hard intervention, like if they need any common facility center or any machine which is specific to their cluster. We also help them in soft intervention, like if they need any capacity building or any exposure visit. So we also plan these things for any cluster development area. There are 4 components which are essential for a strong ecosystem for industrial development. Proper support to institutions, whether it is finance, research and development, or promotion. There it is being done with the proper hand-holding support by the government of Madhya Pradesh. We also have a system of backward and forward linkages for these units which are coming in the cluster development program. We provide them linkages for the raw material as well as for marketing also. A very positive approach towards the policy implementation is there in Madhya Pradesh so that MSME can be supported properly. Next, please. So we have 2 kind of approach in Madhya Pradesh for cluster development. One is MSE CDP scheme of Government of India, Micro and Small Enterprises Cluster Development Program. We get 60% grants from Government of India, and share of Government of Madhya Pradesh is 40%. We have few aspirational districts in Madhya Pradesh where we get 80% of grant from Government of India. Then we have our own state cluster development scheme where we do not get funds from the Government of India, but we get it developed through our policy interventions. Next, please. So there are 2 components which we make in cluster development program, whether it is a state cluster or a MSE CDP cluster of a Government of India. First, we try to make a common facility center which is needed in that particular sector after consultation with all the stakeholders. And another thing is we work for the infrastructure development in that particular cluster. We decided on the basis of the MSMEs which are available there or who wants to come to that cluster. We don't force them to have a CFC or a ID project in that particular area. We do it on their own demand. In state-owned schemes, sir, we give a undeveloped government land to the private player. They form a SPV, special purpose vehicle by their own. Any 5 or more persons can form an SPV. We give them land. They develop the land as per their own requirement, and we give them financial assistance as per our MSME development policy. Next, please. So this slide will tell you the exact data, sir. We have identified 41 clusters under state cluster scheme, who will be giving us more than 77,000 employment opportunities. Then under MSE CDP scheme of Government of India, there are 22 clusters who will be creating 27,000 job opportunities. Our Honorable Chief Minister will be inaugurating 17 clusters in Madhya Pradesh, who will be generating around more than 46,000 of employment opportunities, where more than 900 units will be coming. So within 10 or 15 days, he'll be inaugurating 17 clusters in Madhya Pradesh. Next, please. This is the data which I'm showing you with the MSME CDP cluster and state clusters. So under MSE CDP clusters, we have got approved 13 clusters. Then there are 3 clusters who are under consideration by Government of India. So they will be soon, will be getting sanction for that. And this slide shows that we are working on 22 clusters, more new clusters of under MSE CDP, with the employment opportunity of more than 27,000. Another state cluster, we are working on 41 clusters with more than 77,000 of employment opportunities, out of which 11 already got sanctioned and 13 of MSE CDP got sanctioned. Next, please. We have a very investment-friendly land rules. We have a online process of allotment through e-auction only. We have a very transparent kind of transparent allotment system, where under state cluster also we float a expression of interest on e-auction portal, and any SPV can apply for that and come to that undeveloped government land. We give financial assistance of rupees maximum 2.5 crore rupees if the cluster is up to 10 acres. For more than 10 acres, we also give them up to 5 crores of rupees of financial assistance. Next, please. I am telling you more key highlights of our cluster scheme. We also give them rebate on land premium up to 90%. Then we also give them concession on lease rental. Then we also have earmarked 20% of allotable land for common residential facilities, so that even employees can make their houses or reside there. We have a very easy transferable process for the plot allotment for their relatives as well as for other owners also. Next, please. Next, please. Our Honorable Prime Minister wants to promote toy and furniture cluster. So Government of Madhya Pradesh has decided a special policy initiative for furniture and toy related clusters. We are developing 5 furniture clusters and 2 toy clusters in Madhya Pradesh. We have sanctioned special assistance for the units who will be coming in these clusters. So you can see that we will be assisting them up to 40% of investment under plant and machinery. Then we'll be giving interest subsidy also for 5 years. Then there is electricity rebate, 100% exemption for electricity duty. Then there is a assistance in electricity tariff also. Then certification and stamp duty reimbursement is also there. Next, please. There are other reimbursement, like if their employees get skill development training, so we give them maximum 10,000 rupees for the maximum 200 employees for 3 years. Then we have an employment generation grant also. And if the unit is able to export their items, so we have special export assistance also, which can be given up maximum 25 to 50%. Next, please. These are all special assistance which will be giving to the units will be coming to these 5 furniture clusters and 2 toy clusters. Next, please. Process of state cluster allotment is like that. If any government land is identified by the general manager of that district, he floats an an EOI, expression of interest for that particular land. Any SPV formed under companies that can participate into that. Now we are relaxing these criteria. Now even societies under Cooperative Act, it can also be SPV, and they can also participate in our state cluster scheme. And these online application can be received from the for the developed area. We evaluate them, and bidding parameter is the assistance who we allot the land to the SPV who ask for the least assistance by the state government. We give maximum 40% of assistance to the units on their investment. So whoever asks least investment, we allot the land to them. Next, please.
Sorry, sir, for interruption. Can you please conclude your presentation in 1 or 2 minutes?
Yes, sure. I'll do that. So minimum, as I told you, minimum 5 members can apply for the undeveloped land, and land should be of minimum 5 acres of area. I have given a tender fees, and we have an online process also. Next, please. Yes, cluster development approach not only help MSMEs, but also increase employment, which strengthen state's economy also. Common facility centers leads to cost reduction for MSMEs so that they can compete in the market. GVC, global value linkage integration in the form of backward and forward linkage, influence labor market and support job earnings. So these all under untapped job creation opportunities are being tapped under the state cluster schemes. That's it from my side.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, in many ways, the earlier presentation on entrepreneurship development and this one, developing cohesive, this one is developing, you know, cluster development go together, in fact, in many ways. And they could be well integrated, that apart. See, this is a good approach for, you know, disaggregated regional development in Madhya Pradesh, where you identify the clusters. But identification of cluster is very critical. And because you have not only see as to what we want, what important and what we can, not what we want, what we can, you know, achieve. But this goes in lots of efforts and study and research to identify a cluster as to what are the areas, the potentials, what are the resources available, what is the technical manpower available, and all that. Rest you are providing loan, market linkage, skill development. But every region, has a profile of its own socioeconomic profile. So how do you identify this cluster independent of this socioeconomic profile, or physical profile, or independently you have decided that this is what we require, like a toy or something we do. Like in Vidisha, you can develop for Chanderi, one of the areas, because of the lots of traditional artisans in Madhya Pradesh across. So they have their own, you know, dyeing industries, dyeing capacity, skills. So how do you promote that, especially in the tribal areas? Tribal area, they have Dokra craft and all these things. And how do you develop this? The other thing I would like to ask you, how do you, you know, integrate or complement the state and central programs? How do you best take advantage of having both aiding to each other rather than duplicating? So the other thing is, what is the areas that you have think that in Madhya Pradesh, how do you divide the Madhya Pradesh in terms of areas and regions where the potentials of clusters that you can perceive of? Please.
So I would like to go one by one, sir. Your first question was, how do we identify clusters? So I'll tell you my experience for the 17 clusters which we are starting by the Honorable Chief Minister in 10 or 15 days. First of all, we take consultation from stakeholders who are already working in those areas. So most of the applications come, we have rounds of meeting in that particular area, that what do they want, what is the actual requirement of that area, whether they'll be having a good market linkage or not. Then we have a team of consultants for this. They go into that area, they have a feasibility survey with them, they have rounds of meetings with all the stakeholders. Then they create a feasibility report, then they have a DSR report also, district diagnostic report. Then on those reports and consultation, we decide that this particular district or area is for this particular item or a multi-product kind of a cluster. So we have identified these 17 clusters, and in fact, we are working on more than 65 clusters now. So we have identified these clusters on the basis of these idea only. Then you were talking about Vidisha district. So I would like to tell you specific about Vidisha. Around 40 units are working in agriculture implements, manufacturing of agriculture implements. So we are making a cluster for them. We have also linked them with the export promotion also. So 2 units got orders of exports also after our intervention. We are also making textile clusters in a district called Burhanpur. You have told that we are rich in handloom and handicraft. So we have already approved 2 textile clusters and we are working on more of them. Then you said that there are schemes of Government of India as well as state government also. So how can we integrate both of them and we can avoid duplicity? So I would like to tell you, sir, that MSc CDP scheme, under MSc CDP scheme, only 1 cluster can be sanctioned in 1 district. But here we are having more clusters in district, like we have Indore, Dhar, Pithampur, and other few districts who have better industrial opportunities. So we are having more than 1 cluster in those particular districts. But if we go with the Government of India scheme, we'll be having only 1 clusters. That's why we have our own separate scheme. Then a sanction time limit for the MSc CDP is long, where in state cluster, we sanction our clusters within 1 month or at the max 2 months. So that's why we have our own separate scheme. Then your last question was almost related to first question only, that how can we divide area or potential in Madhya Pradesh, that which sector will be fit for that particular area or a sector. So sir, we have 3 kind of an area. We have a highly industrialized area, which is around Indore, Dhar, Pithampur, Khargone. We have a mid area like Bhopal, Hoshangabad, where agro processing units or other agriculture related products or other agriculture implements and some sand mining or other stone marble units are working. And we have few tribal areas where tribal products are also there. So under ODOP scheme, we are also marketing and branding their Kodo Kutki kind of a product also, sir. So again, we have rounds of meetings in that particular area with the units who are already working there, with the youth who are trying to come to us with a self-employment scheme or through their investment. We have a consultation with political representatives also. And then we decide that what kind of a cluster or units can be promoted in that particular area. So our approach is different for different areas.
Thank you.
Okay, so you got the 17 clusters developed. What has been their income out of that? I mean, have you seen any difference by say you have done an intervention. So there was something before intervention, now after. So have you done some kind of a financial analysis?
Ma'am, I would like to tell you, I hope that I could not make you understand, ma'am, that was my fault. Actually, ma'am, these 17 clusters are being, just what you can say, foundation laying stone will be done by the Honorable Chief Minister. So we have just identified them, worked on them, sanctioned them, and now we'll be having.
So the project hasn't actually started. Like this transformation hasn't actually. You don't really know what happened.
No,
ma'am, what is going to happen.
No, but we have identified as units who will be investing there, and it will be around 1 to 2 years of gestation period where they'll be able to install their unit.
I agree. So my point is exactly that, and the reason I asked that question is exactly that right now you just invested, laid the foundation stones. the buildings will come up, the sectors will get established, and then only the outcomes will come. So don't you think it's a bit premature to come and talk about this project now?
No, ma'am, if we allot lands to more than 1,000 units in Madhya Pradesh, where they can start their investment from day one, where they can get maximum of 40% of financial assistance on their plant and machinery investment.
No, I agree. I agree. You have done wonderful. Like you have sanctioned all these, you are going to make it 65. All these are fine. But what I'm saying is we need to see the outcome. So maybe after 2 years, 3 years, when you come back, you will be able to show that yes, the outcome is that their income has gone up by 300% or whatever, 500% or whatever, because something definitely good will happen. But right now it is too early to say whether what you have done is because it's all based on the reports done by the consultant. By assessing that this is the area we should be developing this sector, this is agriculture sector, or this carbon area is for this sector, you know, whatever classification, the tribal artifact and all that. But we don't really know. It's all on the report of a consultant. The outcomes will come when the imports will exports will start, they will start selling, domestic sale will happen, you know, all these things will happen. Then only we will know what is happening here. Right now, we have only known that the only outcome right now is that you are sanctioned 70 clusters. Financial assistance has been done, nothing beyond that. But that's just a routine activity as per the common procedure.
Yes, well, but I would like to again highlight,
No, I am not saying
providing land to 1,000
yeah, that is also it's also part of the government job. That there is a scheme and land has to be given for such kind of development, entrepreneurship development. So that is the job. Right now we have only planted the tree. Fruits haven't come. So let's wait for the fruits to come. It may be a good tree you have planted. Your initiatives are good. You have done a lot of work, hard work. There is no doubt about it. But what I'm saying is just wait for some time to see whether the results are as you have expected.
I agree, ma'am.
Beyond your expectation or what?
Okay, I agree, ma'am. But I would like to again say here that we have what you can say started this scheme on the requirement of this thing, and on that scheme we worked on that. It was not already prevalent there.
No, that is all right. You have worked out a scheme. But that cluster formation is not something you have done first time. Other states are also doing. But what you have done is good. I'm not saying that it is not good. But right now, we don't know what is going to happen. So let's wait. You have done your job.
Sure,
you have done it well. Let's wait. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now my last presentation is there. I have to move to another city, which is 250 kilometers from Bhopal. So thank you so much for rescheduling our event. First, I have 3 presentations. So I'll be presenting first one regarding self-employment scheme, which was recently launched by the government of Madhya Pradesh, which is Udyam Kranti, Mukhyamantri Udyam Kranti Yojana. Madhya Pradesh, next please. Okay. Madhya Pradesh is having almost 20% of youth population between 15 to 24 years of age group, who is having very limited job opportunities. Many of them have weak financial background also, so have limited scope to credit. There are many educated and competent youths available, but they also do not have adequate credit facility. If they do, they face a huge burden of loan and interest amount. So next please. So our Honorable Chief Minister has launched a scheme in the month of January 2022. Next please. So our Honorable Chief Minister has launched this scheme in the month of January 2022 called Mukhyamantri Udyam Kranti Yojana to provide a collateral-free loan with reduced cost of credit through interest interventions. Anyone who is class 8th pass or below or between the age group of 18 to 45 years is eligible for this scheme. And the project cost limit may be from 1 lakh to 50 lakhs for the manufacturing sector, and for service sector it is 1 lakh to 25 lakhs. We also give interest intervention of 3% per annum, maximum for 7 years, And also we reimburse CGTMSE fee for 7 years. Next, please. This is just a flow chart of the scheme. We have made a dedicated portal for this Udyam Kranti Yojana. There is a procedure for online application. Anywhere from anywhere can apply for it. Government of Madhya Pradesh also gives handholding support for the units who has applied for the loan facility. We have a separate organization who not only follows units who have applied, but also helps them in preparing project reports, following with the banks, preparing their documents for the banks, and after that market linkage and other facilities also. Our Honorable Chief Minister himself organizes bankers meeting every month for the support of these entrepreneurs. We have a capacity building facility for this for these entrepreneurs. We have started an online module in our portal where youth can watch whatever regarding whether it is financing related capacity building or social media marketing or market linkage. So he can be trained from there, from his home only. Then we have a financial support system as per our policy. Then we have also linkages with buyers. We have MOUs with Walmart, Radhi, Flipkart. We have MOU with M1 Exchange. So we also helps them in getting market supports. And we also support them for backward linkage also, so that they can get raw materials at a cheaper cost. Next, please. As I already told you, we have developed an online capacity building module with the help of a separate organization called SADMAP, which is also under MSME Department of Government of Madhya Pradesh. They have made videos in 2 languages, English and Hindi, so that entrepreneurs can get awareness and training also for livelihood development. And we have also intervened manpower with the help of skill development department. Competent and skilled manpower is needed in MSME. So it is very necessary to inculcate entrepreneurship and risk taking ability in the students from the beginning of their life. So MSME department got curriculum of skill development department changed for this. And we are grateful for the skill development department that they have not only introduced new courses in their ITIs, but they have also included module of skill development, entrepreneurship development, and risk-taking abilities in their curriculum. So now we have also our curriculum got changed. So students are getting these exposure from the beginning itself. Next, please. As you can see this chart, India is having a joblessness percentage of around 7.8%. But after the intervention of this scheme and other various social self-employment schemes, Madhya Pradesh is the lowest in the country. Our joblessness index is only 0.5%. So it shows an intervention of the state government in self-employment. Next, please. This is just a progress of the Mukhyamantri Udyam Kranti scheme. We have a target of around 1 lakh cases in this financial year. We have received more than 13,000 applications, out of which 2,400 got sanctioned and more than 1,500 got disbursed also. We have also followed various schemes and we have got convergence of these schemes. So from January to March 2022, we have provided more than 13 lakhs of self-employment opportunity to the youth. And from this financial, from April 2022 to 22nd August, we have provided more than 6,000 crores of loan to more than 9 lakhs youths. That's it from my side for this presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. It is a very good initiative from your side to provide employment and entrepreneurship development among the youth in the 18 to 45 years. And that, as you suggests that it is brought down the unemployment level to the 5. But one would like to know what is the number or what is the proportion of these beneficiaries under your program constitute to the number of employed or self-employment programs or any entrepreneurs. What is the size of this? Number 2 is that you see there are many states also doing the same thing, similar way, very similar across the India. Do you stand any way exception to the other states which is happening in India? And third thing is that how many BPL families were covered under this program and how many of them have been brought above the BPL line? And
Okay,
what
sir.
are the kind of activities that you support which has greater economic returns?
Okay, sir. So first of all, I would like to tell you about the size of this scheme under the various self-employment scheme. So as I told you, sir, it has been launched recently only in the month of March only, and actually its portal got started in the month of April. So actual application got started after the April only. Then we had model code of conduct of local elections here for 2 months. So we could not disburse or sanction any application. So it was just got on hold. So we could not sanction so many cases, but it is not having a good amount as per the other self-employment scheme. But it is the only scheme available in government of Madhya Pradesh, which is a convergence of all the schemes. So since we in this month only our model code of conduct got finished, so now the progress will come in this under this scheme, because as I told you that we don't have any other scheme, so all the applications of self-empowerment will fall in under this scheme only. Your other question was how it is different from the schemes of other states. First of all, sir, we are giving hand-holding support. We have a separate organization called SADMAP, which is working for skill development and entrepreneurship development only under the government of Madhya Pradesh MSME department. It is providing hand-holding support right from the identification of the beneficiary, preparing their project reports, preparing their documents, loan application, follow up with the banks. After banks disburse them loan, then establishing of their units. After that, market linkage and other things. Then other thing is that, sir, we have started our online EDP module, training capacity building module for this youths, which other states don't have. So in this way, and third thing is that, sir, we have MOUs with various organizations working in the MSME sectors. Like we have MOU with the Walmart Vradhi, which is helping these youths in not only in current market scenario, but they are also helping in export promotion for these units. Then we have MOU with M1 Exchange, who will be helping them with the credit linkage facilities. So they will be having a better credit facility available with them, except their own loan amounts. So in this way, we are different from other states. Your third thing was that how many BPL families are under this scheme, sir? Maximum income limit for the scheme is 12 lakhs rupees per annum. But unfortunately, we haven't have any column of whether the applicant is BPL or not BPL. So we don't have exact data that how many of them are BPL, but we'll try to find it out, sir. And
then how do you focus BPL? That is one of the main concerns.
Sir, actually, whoever is below the 12 lakhs rupees of income, they can apply. So we, as I told you, that we don't have any separate column for BPL, sir. But whatever case comes, sir, we personally follow them. We have a dedicated team, a cell.
Understand that. See, even in the 12 lakh is a big amount. So that the persons who having 7-8 lakhs per year income will have an edge over the BPL families. They don't have that kind of facilities or that kind of a capacity with your negotiating with your program. So maybe you will focus on BPL, which will mean that you're also focusing SC, ST, OBCs.
That will surely do. Sir.
And what is the average income that the entrepreneur has accrued to with the help of your program.
Sir, right now, since disbursement of loan is being done in 1 or 2 months only, sir. So they have started their business, but we have some success stories of few youth who got loan disbursed under this scheme. So they were telling us that they are getting around 3 lakhs to 4 lakhs rupees per annum.
Yeah, but this is a hopeful thinking, and but the thing is that, see, when we come with a proposal like this to SKOCH, we need to have a kind of a established fact that this is what we have achieved. If not so, during process of the time, a year or so, you should be able to conduct a study to establish how good your program is going, what are the pros and cons. Okay, thank you.
Right, sir.
Excellent.
Thank you for your feedback, sir.
Yeah, I have no specific question because Pandaji has asked everything.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. The clarifications have been sought and got. That's all.
No, next to you ask first, man. Then I
No. I'm not saying that.
No, I'm sorry. I've been.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, questions I would have asked the same. Otherwise.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, now I have a next presentation regarding cluster development program under